My name's Werking. I live here in Washington. Moved here about a year ago. We lived in Fort Lauderdale for 50 years. Met my wife there. She grew up in Carnegie and was born here and has a lot of family here. So when she retired, I said, let's get out of Florida and move up with your cousins and nephews and nieces and be around people that care. I find that's important. Coming to Washington, we bought a new home and a lot of changes and decorating, and I'd been hanging so many pictures in the house, I ran out of space. I was using the garage to handle and hang, and I was looking at friends, family that had served and did POWs in the war, and just taking it all in, looking at the pictures on the wall. As I was standing in the garage, I felt something snap in my chest, doing nothing. And I had a history coming from Florida of AFib, which was an irregular heartbeat that they try to control. And having a heart history, I had learned a little bit, studied a little bit, and knew this was not normal. Just stand still. As I began to get wet and sweaty, I knew for the first time in my life, I'm going to call 911. And as I did, she asked me my symptoms, and I told her. And her first response, surprisingly, was, we're going to send a medevac helicopter because you're living next to the fairgrounds on Main Street. We're going to land and take you to downtown Pitt. I said, why? She says, based upon your history and your symptoms, that's what you're going to need. And I said, no, don't do it. It'll take too long. I said, no, send an ambulance. And she said, okay. Ambulance showed up, strapped me in, off we went. Lights and sirens. Never thought I'd get there. They knew my background. I had been transferred here. They knew my medical history. And the attention around me and the communication amongst the staff was, they knew what they were in for. I didn't. And at this point, they said, you have an ablation rupture. It hasn't burst yet, but time is of the essence. I remember rolling down the hall, and I asked the doctor, what do you think? He says, 80-20. I said, oh, 80's good, huh, Doc? He says, 80's the bad part, but you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I said, okay. He's cutting my t-shirt off. He's trying to bring some humor into it after giving me that news. He says, hope it's in your favorite t-shirt. I said, no, go right ahead. And I said, put me under. Because any patient that's been put under for anything, when you're looking at the ceiling and the lights, I don't think you could possibly be honest enough to tell me you wonder, is this the last thing I'm going to see? Is this it? Especially after hearing my percentages. And as I drifted off, the last words I heard were, you're going to be okay. I wake up at that point in the ICU, a team staffed with nurses and different surgeons that come into the room. They start looking at my vitals, and they're all saying, this is good, he's stable. They all say, you don't know how lucky you are. You don't know how lucky you are. Well, I believe in luck, but I also believe in skill, commitment, compassion. I don't mind being lucky, but I had a great staff that worked real hard, very compassionate, left their issues of life outside my door because they were focused. And at that point, a lady had come into the room and went over to look at me and greet me, even though I could just nod. She went over to my wife, held her hands, talked to her, comfort her. I learned later from my wife, who is this lady? And she said, she's the lady that sat with me in the recovery waiting room last night. Wow, you were in surgery for 7 hours. I said, 7 hours? She said, this is not the same day you went in. You've been asleep, recovering overnight. The housekeeper smiling at me. You're going to be okay. You're doing great. The food service people. You're going to be great. You're doing good. I've heard good things. By the third day, the physical therapist, 2 people showed up, introduced herself. And for a nanosecond, my first day going backwards for a moment, I looked at myself and had 3 IVs in my neck, 2 in each arm, and 2 plugs in my stomach, and my chest really hurt. But I said, I don't think I'm going to make it, because I had self-doubt of feeling the way I felt, that there's no way that as strong as I know I am, I can recover from this. But that was a nanosecond, and then I realized a lot of people had worked very hard to keep me alive, and they cared. So if they care, and I don't even know them, how can I even think of the easiest way out is just shut your eyes? And everyone that came in had a compassion that I could feel with them, of not just for them to succeed in what they did. They wanted to see me succeed and move forward in my life. Every person on the staff, little by little, the things that they said and did in a very measured way would give me confidence to trust them. And that's what got me through it, to tell you the truth. At this point, I'd been given a new friend that was brought in after the surgery, and I'm recovering. They brought in a stuffed animal, little stuffed bear that you would give to a young child. And I said to myself, I feel like I've been hit by a train. I've got more IVs in me, and you're going to hand me a bear, was my first reaction. I said, look, if you're going to sneeze or cough, you squeeze this guy and compress your chest so you don't blow it out. That's Buddy Bear. This is my Buddy Bear they gave me. And this guy, he became a partner of mine, not just helping me physically, but mentally, because now I've got him, and he was there to help me. So anytime I would need him, I had him nearby on my pillow. And wonderful thing about my buddy was I could tell him a lot of my thoughts, fears, but he could never talk back. So I figured he agreed with everything I said. And he was a great companion. And this small bear was such a big piece of recovery. My story's like many others. I came here in need of help, and I got it. They cared. They showed me. They saved my life. You don't win every battle, but I can assure you, they were all committed and suited up. And the thing I noticed here with the culture, when I would come back for follow-up and the physical therapist would help me and get back learning to walk, you walk down the hall and you would see staff make eye contact with you, where previously in hospitals I've been in, unfortunately, they pass you. Mostly they might grin, but they look down at their shoes because I guess in some places they feel there's no good news here, but there is. Not everybody can do it. My wife wants to pass out to put a Band-Aid on me. It's not for everybody. But if you choose it and come in it, you know you have to have compassion for humans. It's a real gift that you can do this in helping humanity. And as small as whatever it is that your job is in medical, you're in the wheel, you're a spoke, and you don't win every battle. Not in medical. You go home some days depressed, but you try your hardest, and that's all you can do, and you're going to show up the next day and have new challenges with new people that are going to be life-changing. And it's a tough, tough career, but I again say it's a gift. In my closing experience here at Washington Health System is truly, I want to thank you from my repaired bottom of my heart, because without your skills, commitment, training, and compassion, as much as people that came into the room would say, you don't know how lucky you are. I was lucky, but I had the right team. I had the right compassion of people wanting to do what they do best, and that's helping people and keeping them alive. And I believe that the Washington Health System staff, they care about your care, and that's very important in any situation. And in mine, it was life-saving. So thank you, one and all.